a film for MTV on what it means to be young and white.
Okay.
Okay.
White.
When you say white, what does that mean to you?
We've never had to internalize what white people have done in America, but here, you can't escape that.
I'm getting uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable.
Hey, this is great. Let's get all uncomfortable together.
And the show is hosted by an illegal alien. I'm Alex Jones. I'm your host. Thank you so much for joining us on the syndicated radio/TV transmission. New MTV show publicly shames white people for what they've done in America. White People documentary hosted by illegal immigrant features young Americans crying over their white privilege. MTV will air a show later this month entitled White People, which shows young white Americans crying on camera over their white privilege and publicly shaming them, this is quoting the show, for what they've done in America. This is the opposite of the culture Martin Luther King talked about. This is where everything is you have guilt because you're white and you're inherently bad, pure racism, but anyone of color, 93% of the world population, is a saintly God devoid of criminal activity, to the point of media will then not report, or it is told not to report, when things are racially motivated, when it is committed by a majority minority. And this is all being invoked because the system has to distract the public from the fact that offshore crime cartels, private banking cartels, are dismantling what's left of free countries across the Western world and deliberately bankrupting cultures and societies. No, this is not a joke. The documentary is hosted by Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Jose Antonio Vargas, who's an illegal alien, by the way, an illegal immigrant and amnesty activist who has worked for the Washington Post and the Huffington Post. See, we have a subversive offshore banking cartel that's just playing everyone off against each other. And I know that I am stating the obvious here. But it's so seditious what's going on. The trailer for the show, which has been widely criticized by YouTube respondents, features white people expressing angst about how they are desperate not to appear racist or offend people. So again, this is the mental illness they're giving people to be total basket cases. Oh, my God, I have a brown bag. Oh, my God, I'm white. Oh, my God, I did good on my test scores. It's because I'm inherently bad. Oh, my gosh, what do I do to prove I'm not bad? And they come in and they say, we'll tell you what you do. You support everything the government says and everything the mainstream media says, and you submit culturally day to day to whatever the changing directives are. You have no opinions, no views, except what we say, and you regurgitate them exactly as we say, and then we might say you're an okay person. You may have heard of this throughout history before. It's called cult programming. This is literal brainwashing. Just like the former Attorney General came out years ago addressing the Radio, Television, Film Association and said we need to, quote, literally brainwash the public every day, every minute with anti-gun messages. Well, it's the same thing. Every day, every minute, white people are bad, white people are evil, white people are the problem, white people, white people, white people. And this is all being directed and run by a bunch of rich media people that just so happen to be white, who want a class war based on race, not based on their billions and trillions. So they want to invoke class war and race war to bring in totalitarianism as the solution and then securing their ill-gotten gains. It's scientifically crafted. The trailer for the show, which has been widely criticized on YouTube respondents, features white people expressing angst about how they are desperate not to appear racist or offend people. According to Kimberly Reese, the documentary forces the participants to internalize what they've done in America. So you're guilty, you're racist, your identity, your culture, your religion, your world is not that you're into music or into literature or a medical person or a social worker or a farmer or an artist or a lover of science fiction or a lover of gardening. It's all about how you look, so that it's never about what you actually stand for. This is a new dark age being brought in, where you're a heretic if they say you are for any reason. You don't want to turn your guns in, you're a racist. You don't support Obamacare, written by foreign insurance companies, you're a racist. Don't want to submit to the agenda, don't want to pay higher taxes, don't want to live in a 250-square-foot coffin apartment, you're anti-earth, you want to kill the earth. Don't want your children taken over by the state with the litmus test of asking your 6-year-old, would they like to identify as a girl if they're a boy? Or would they like to identify as a boy if they're a girl? And do mommy and daddy let you identify like you want? And the kid's like, what's this mean? Well, let us teach you. Here's a little brochure. Then your child has this new power to become sexualized with outsiders that have come in, and to demand from their parents that they go be with the outsiders to learn the new sexual ways. This is, give us your kids, bring them outside. This is hardcore pedophile takeover. I mean, look at these articles. They have troops in the U.S. Army wearing red high heels in public. School kids told to not call themselves boys and girls because that hurts someone's feelings. You think this is insanity, this is going over the top. No, this is the new culture. This will be enforced. National Review, school kids told to call kids purple penguins because boys and girls is not inclusive to transgender. And then the elementary kids go, what's transgender? And they go, let us tell you. We're not going to teach you about the Federal Reserve. We're not going to teach you about reading, writing, and arithmetic. We're not going to teach you about pocketbook or checkbooks or how to balance your budget. We're not going to teach you how to garden. We're not going to teach you how to cook food. We're not going to teach you anything of any worth. We're not going to teach you sewing. We're not going to teach you typing. We're not going to teach you anything that would make you self-sufficient. You're going to learn that white people are bad. You're going to learn that men wear red high heels. You're going to learn how to give oral sex. You're going to learn, you're going to learn, you're going to learn. This is a scientific takeover. Look at this. Gender identity curriculum angers parents in Virginia. School children in elementary taught that they could be a transvestite. California lets grade schoolers decide gender identity. The kids aren't even talking about this. The kids, it's literally less than 1% of the population, but it's being injected with your children, and if they can get away with this with your kids, they can do anything. That's why this was chosen. As I said, Jocelyn Elders 20-something years ago sounded crazy saying, take elementary students in, turn the lights off, show them how to masturbate in school. People said that's crazy. Now that's normal. They've moved the Overton window. They've conditioned us with our normalcy bias.